2 mornings later, knock at the door. Officer Ruiz again, polite as ever. We just need a brief statement. At the precinct, I handed over every document, safety data sheet, emails with Mason, complete footage. The detective glanced through, sighed, and said, "You documented everything. That's impressive. HOA life teaches survival skills," I said. By noon, officially cleared. Case closed. Karen wasn't so lucky. When the HOA's emergency audit dropped, it snowballed. Missing funds. Fake maintenance invoices. And whose name appeared on nearly all? You already know. Within days, Paul resigned citing exhaustion. Translation, embarrassment. Karen lost her board seat and gained a probation order plus restitution, including damages to me. When the judgment letter arrived, $8,500 and a 500-foot restraining order, I exhaled for what felt like the first time in months. Mason called that night. Still glowing, he joked. Only with satisfaction, I said. He laughed. Chemistry delivers poetic endings. The neighborhood changed after that. People finally locked gates. They also started waving again, not out of nosiness, but respect. Even gossip began to sound friendlier, cleansed somehow. Karen's house went up for sale. The "for sale" sign gleamed like punctuation at the end of a noisy paragraph. The new couple who moved in were quiet, kind, grateful for calm. On warm evenings, I sit by the pool, still blue, still mine, and think about how fragile peace looks until someone tries to steal it. The moral isn't about DI or HOA politics. It's about boundaries, how easily they blur, how powerfully they restore once redrawn. When people ask, was it worth it? I smile. Peace is always worth the paperwork. As the sun dips, the water catches gold along the surface, no emeralds now, just light. And I raise my glass to every homeowner who's ever faced a real-world Karen. Remember, you don't need chaos to win. Just evidence. Calm, documented truth glows brighter than any spotlight. The scene was pure suburban opera. Karen flailed out of the pool, emerald from elbow to wrist, gasping, chemical attack, while live streaming on her phone. You could practically hear the comments section quivering with hashtags. Neighbors lined their fences like spectators at Wimbledon. Jim filmed from a safe distance, steady and calm. The police arrived within 20 minutes. 2 cruisers, lights politely off, officers trying not to laugh. Officer Ruiz, stoic, unamused, watched my footage. Gate open 11:42 a.m. Karen entering uninvited. Sunscreen application. Color change. It was all there, time-stamped like destiny. As the officers escorted Karen aside, still half green and squawking, "I'll have you arrested," I realized something. When people who thrive on power lose the script, they panic. By that evening, her live stream was everywhere. Memes sprouted faster than dandelions. The Incredible Sulk. 50 Shades of Green. Kids yelled "Shrek" in driveways. But virality has teeth. Her followers tried defending her, until someone clipped the footage showing her clearly bragging, "We're at Tom's place, exclusive access." The next day, the detective called. "You're clear," he said. Non-toxic cosmetic dye, full documentation. She, on the other hand, is getting trespassing charges. I thanked him and hung up. Relief came in slow waves, less triumph, more peace finally unclenching. HOA President Paul called too, voice trembling somewhere between apology and self-preservation. "We, need an emergency meeting. About access keys." Translation, "We're in damage control." Within a week, the boardroom turned gossip coliseum. Neighbors who once whispered complaints now spoke loudly. Packages missing, fees misused, Karen's fingerprints on everything. Turns out the color that best reveals corruption isn't green, it's transparency. While the internet moved on to its next meme, our neighborhood quietly rewrote itself. Locks changed. Rules clarified. People smiled at me like I'd slain a dragon with a test tube. When dusk fell, the pool finally reflected only the sky again, no gate creak, no laughter that didn't belong. Just calm water and the sound of my own heartbeat slowing. Justice, it turned out, wore a subtle shade of emerald. Anger is loud. Revenge, if you're doing it right, is quiet. I sketched out exactly what I needed, something safe, legal, undeniable. No vandalism, just exposure. The truth, in vivid color. So, I called an old friend, Mason, a chemistry professor with the relaxed voice of someone who's seen too many bad ideas start with, "Hear me out." "Harmless dye," I said. "Something that reacts only with her sunscreen. Just color. Nothing dangerous." He paused. "You're basically asking for poetic chemistry." 3 days later, he arrived with lab gear in a lunchbox-sized case. Together we tested a water-safe tint that only bloomed under UV light when mixed with titanium dioxide sunscreen, the luxury brand Karen adored. We stirred a beaker of water, added a dab of sunscreen, and boom, emerald green shimmered through the liquid like envy personified. Harmless, temporary, perfectly theatrical. Mason made me sign what felt like a moral contract: no harm, total documentation, absolute transparency. The dye would fade in 24 hours. By nightfall, I had one small sealed vial, labeled, logged, and cool stored beside my pool equipment. Every safety sheet locked and printed. Revenge with paperwork. Next morning, I prepped my stage. Pool crystal clear. Cameras angled. Neighbor Jim, retired teacher, local legend, briefed as an impartial witness. Historic moment, he whispered, thrilled. Science versus hubris. Saturday dawned cloudless. Perfect conditions for karma to tan evenly. I poured the precise measured amount into the pool, no villain music, just gentle ripples, and noted the timestamp like a scientist performing penance. Then I waited. 5 minutes. 10. Nothing but blue serenity and my heartbeat. Then came the text from Jim, gate opening. I opened the live feed. Sun hat. Sunglasses. That walk of unearned confidence. 2 friends in tow. Pure déjà vu. They laid out towels, clinked cans, and, as always, Karen applied her signature sunscreen, the final ingredient. She dove in. 3 minutes later, the water blossomed green. Bright, cinematic, irrefutable. Her shriek could have won awards. Neighbors peeked, cameras flashed, karma chuckled somewhere in the cosmos. And I sat inside with my coffee, recording every angle, whispering, science always wins. Within days, the invasion turned into a ritual. Noon alarm, motion alert. Camera feed, Karen, lounging by the water like royalty, scrolling her phone. No splash, no guilt, just ownership. By Friday, she'd added 2 attendants. Sandwiches, seltzers, and swagger. She even hired a kid with a pool net who told me, Miss Karen said she's the owner. That did it. I marched back to the HOA. Paul, same syrupy smile. Everything all right? Not remotely. I slammed a USB stick on his desk. Watch this. He did, and still tried to bargain. She's influential. On the budget committee. Maybe let me send a warning letter. A letter? I laughed, sharp and humorless. She brings guests to my pool. He spread his hands. These things take time. Right. Time for my sanity to evaporate. When I got home, I realized the gate latch had been filed down, sabotaged so it stayed open. The message was clear: I can get in anytime. That weekend, I replaced locks, added cameras, and quadruple-checked them. For a handful of peaceful days, the only motion alerts came from squirrels doing parkour. I almost believed it was over, until Wednesday. Camera ping. There she was again. New hat, same arrogance. The brand new lock hanging open. Who was this woman, Houdini with a keychain? She waved at the camera. Waved. By Friday she brought back her friends, plus an inflatable flamingo, because humiliation works best in Technicolor. That night, as I scrubbed through hours of footage, I wasn't just angry anymore. I was focused. Sunday barbecue, I invite coworkers, tell them the tale. Mid-grill, one points to my security feed. Dude, is that her? Sure enough. Karen, mid-stroll, as if the HOA had granted her a parade permit. I stormed out. Get out, I said. She smiled. Excuse me. You step foot here again, and I'm filing trespassing charges. Please, she hissed. This neighborhood runs on my word. Then it's time someone edits the dictionary. Her expression iced over. You'll regret this. Maybe. But as she stomped away, dripping defiance, I realized this wasn't just about a pool, it was about control. And I'd finally decided to take mine back. It started with laughter that didn't belong to me. The bubbly, echoing kind that carries too easily across water. Then, the unmistakable splash. I jolted upright, heart jackhammering, and yanked the curtain open. And there they were, 3 strangers reclined on swan floats in my pool, sipping mimosas as a Bluetooth speaker screamed top 40 hits. For a wild moment, I thought I'd sleepwalked into a parallel universe. But no, the deed framed on my counter said otherwise. Every ripple in that pool was legally mine. I threw on a shirt, marched outside, and tried to sound authoritative instead of half asleep. The woman in the sun hat lifted her shades like a queen inspecting a confused servant. Oh, sweetheart, she drawled, this is the community pool. Community? Ma'am, I bought this property 2 months ago. Her smirk could have curdled coffee. Funny, because I have the key. She twirled a shiny ring of keys, then lounged back like she'd declared victory. The 2 friends went silent. I, on the other hand, was discovering that fury and disbelief are identical twins. You need to leave. Now. Oh, relax, she said. Call the HOA president, tell him Karen said hi. That name fit her perfectly, like destiny had been practicing. She rose, water sliding from her arms, and whispered, we'll see who really owns this pool. Then she and her entourage strolled out through the side gate, and didn't struggle with the latch. She really did have a key. After they left, I stood by the water's edge. Sunlight flickered off the ripples, mocking me. My safe haven had just been turned into a public resort, complete with an uninvited hostess. That evening, HOA President Paul gave me a smile polished enough to reflect guilt. Karen's been here for years, he said. Maybe extend a little goodwill. Goodwill? I repeated. She trespassed. Paul's grin thinned. Pick your battles, neighbor. Driving home, that phrase rattled around like loose change. Pick your battles. Sure. But what if the battle was someone invading your peace? That night, while the pool lay calm and glassy, I swore the calm wouldn't last.